Well.
Wow.
There's a guy that looks pretty impressed with himself and with his team. Welcome to another week of instigating here. And look, we had a guest on last week that we needed to bring back on here, and we've got another guest, a good friend of the show, that's going to hop on, who's right up Clarkey's alleyway here. Very happy with the way that things turned out between our Toronto Blue Jays and this gentleman's New York Yankees. Let's get our buddy Mike Damergis back on, one of the hosts of the Bronx's Burning Sports.com.
Oh, yeah.
Already torturing poor Damergis. Good grief here. And let's bring on our other friend. As mentioned, our good friend Mike Gentile, longtime producer over at the Fan590. He's decked out in the Blue Jay stuff too, gentlemen. Mike, I want to start with you as Clarkey plays you in to some nice Sinatra there.
Yeah, just trying to keep,
I have to ask home. You said on this show last week you felt the Yankees would win, and of course you support your team, right? You weren't going to say they're going to lose. Yeah. But now that we sit here after a 4-game offensive pounding from our Blue Jays, I need to ask you, in Noel Gallagher's famous words, where did it all go wrong?
It all went wrong with the starting pitching, number one. Number two, can anybody get a hit besides Aaron Judge?
No.
I mean, we've got a $350 million payroll, and nobody could get a hit. Come on now. I mean, wasting this guy's talent. He might go down at like Ted Williams to never win a World Series. What a shame that would be. I've said before on your show, I think he's the best player since 1970 the game has ever seen. He's putting up incredible numbers during the season. He had a great postseason. And you see when he hit that 3-run home run that went way up into the night, he gave a look to the camera and gave a second look out, get off my back. He can't carry this team much longer. And if the Yankees don't do some changes here, I mean, they've got 5 positions to fill next year. I could see this team actually taking a step back in the next couple of years.
Well, I have to ask you then on that note, and I mean, I think I know where you would lean on at least one of these guys, maybe even both. Do you feel like it's time for the Yankees to move on from Aaron Boone or Brian Cashman, or both?
Boone's not going anywhere. He is mano a mano.
But do you think he should?
Who are you bringing in? If you tell me Don Mattingly is coming in, hell yes.
Okay.
I mean,
he's still busy.
He's still busy. He was our boy
at
the
first. Moment.
Remember that.
Yeah.
Remember he was our boy first.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I liked about your manager. He seems like an old school baseball guy, and your team plays old school baseball. And I loved it. The Yankees can't string hits together. They can't work the count anymore like they did in the 90s. It's this feast or famine mentality that's killed this team over the years, and they're wasting an incredible career of Aaron Judge, and he's going to be 34 next spring when the season starts. 34. How many more years is he going to put up 50 home runs before he starts to tail off? Maybe 2-3 more years, and that is it. And the way this team is built, they don't have long-term contracts, and they got a lot of positions to fill. They don't have a third baseman. Volpe's not working out at shortstop. Jazz Chisholm is hit or miss at second base. They need a left fielder, and they need a center fielder. Where are they going to find these players with all these teams in contention with a new playoff format?
Yeah, it's a bit of a mess they are potentially facing. And I mean, I'm sure you heard, Derek Jeter's thoughts on the Fox MLB post game about what he thinks about Aaron Boone. And he seemed to be on the stage, of keeping him. And he seemed to think he did a good job with what he had, is what Jeter's exact words were. And that kind of echoes what you're saying there, Damerge. Like, this team, I mean, for being the number one offense in baseball and having a pretty formidable looking starting rotation, even minus Garrett Cole, whose, presence was certainly missed in this situation. You look at the way this team played defense, and it wasn't in this series, it was all year. Defensively, they were atrocious. And I don't know who you maybe point the finger at there, but it didn't seem to get better as the year went on, Damerge.
But how's this? They were better than they were in previous years at defense. That's how bad the defense has been over the last couple of years. Aaron Boone, Derek Jeter taking shots at him, taking shots more at Brian Cashman. I think Cashman at the time when Jeter was getting his last contract, he was kind of sticking it to him a little bit. Jeter was to Cashman. Aaron Boone, yeah, decent manager, manages players well, communicates well, which some managers can't do. But I don't think he outmaneuvers anybody. And I think this day and age, you don't see many managers outmaneuver anybody mentally on the field anymore. He's a good guy. He's a courteous guy, but I don't know if he's an inspiring guy. And I don't know if you really inspire people today. I don't know if managers or coaches inspire people today because people are so detached because of social media and all the distractions going on in the field.
Let's bring our buddy Mike Gentile from the Fan in. We're having a little fan reunion here too. And not only fan reunion, primetime sports reunion. 3 producers here of the best radio show ever, Primetime Sports. Gentile,
yes.
I want to ask you, did you see it coming that Vladdy Guerrero was going to come out of his shell and be a superstar in this series?
Yes, in a way. He was trending that way already towards the end of the year before Bo got hurt. As soon as Bichette got hurt, Vlad's numbers, his average went down, I think, 12 points from the time that Bo hurt his knee at Yankee Stadium until the start of the playoffs. So not having Bo hit after him really had an impact on him and on the whole team. But he was due. He was due to have this kind of season. I thought he's had a great season all around. Not a lot of home runs, not as much power as you'd like, but a contributor and that sort of thing. So it was always there for the taking. So I would be more surprised if he had a bad series than what we saw. And even, I got to say, so he hits the grand slam. He hits the home run in game 3. Last night, his first at-bat, 0-2, he had no business getting on base, let alone hitting a double. It was such an impressive at-bat. He looked like he was toast in that at-bat, and that kind of set everything up for the team. So it's about time. I'm tired of constantly having to talk about his contract. Like everyone, well, for $500 million and for like leave the 500 alone. You're not paying it, whether it's 4 or 5. Just like judge people on their stats, not just on that money all the time. There's conversations for that, but just judge people on their stats. So, I thought the only sad part, I wanted a 7-gamer because it was Vladdy versus Judge, and it was so good. The only loss is we didn't get more of it.
Yeah, and you talk about stats, Vladdy. I was shocked to read this. Like the stats. I mean, it's amazing. That's one nice thing about social media now. Like the stats are flying out immediately. I couldn't believe this when I read this. Vladdy was the first player in Major League Baseball history to have 9 hits and at least 9 RBI in a series. I couldn't believe that. That's a crazy stat, especially when you consider, as you pointed out, Gentile, people ragging on him. Not a great end of September. The batting average dropped. The slugging went down. This guy steps into, and I don't think, and Clarkey, I think you'd agree with this, I don't think that any player on this team had more pressure on them to perform and do something than him, especially with what happened against Seattle a couple years ago, the infamous second base pickoff, that whole thing. You were ready to run him out of town when that happened, Clarkey. This guy stepped
Rightly
up.
so.
Yeah, it was bad, but this guy signs his deal, has a pretty okay season, steps into the batter's box in the playoffs and absolutely lit the Yankees on fire. It was incredible what he did in this series. And I believe he's just the 3rd player ever to hit a home run in 3 straight Major League Baseball postseason games. Absolutely crazy stuff. Gentile, I wonder as well, we've talked a lot about this Jays team, Clarkey and I, throughout the year. And what does success mean for them as they continued to defy people's expectations? They're in first place in the summer. They pass the Yankees. They get to the fall. They barely hold on. They win the division. Now that they punched a ticket to the ALCS, can this now be considered a success for the Blue Jays? The season.
Oh, it was a success before the playoffs started.
I agree.
Really?
Well, they won 20 more games this year. If they had a wild card, it would have been successful.
So our friend Rob Longley said it wouldn't be a success unless they won a playoff game, which they hadn't done since 2016. And they did that.
Right.
And they hadn't won a game
A single game in the Vladdy era.
Game, or the right. Shapiro Atkins era.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Their first playoff win too.
No, it's a huge success. You got to look at, I mean, as weird as it sounds, I was comparing them to the 2015 team a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I think these guys might be better. The 2015 team was huge in terms of power, but like a lot of the teams still alive now, they're very top heavy. The Jays are just so much immense depth.
Mm-hmm.
Like you go to the bottom of that lineup, like it could be a Clement one day, it could be a Straw, like anyone could burn you. And then the pitching was good. The bullpen was outstanding yesterday. So sky's the limit. I think they're as good as that team was 10 years ago. And now you have to look at it as like a World Series or bust. Otherwise, like, why are we here? Just trying to celebrate making the playoffs or winning a single round? Like you gotta go for it all. So I think we all looked at it like, just getting there was enough. But if you look at those players who've been there for so long, having no success for so long, they look at it like their job's not done.
Hey, Damergis,
absolutely.
You probably, as a baseball fan, heard of the guys like Ernie Clement and those Clement and all those guys. But
Lucas.
Tell me the truth. Have you ever heard of Trey Yesavage? And what did you think of that display on Sunday, I guess it was?
No, when you mentioned him on the podcast last week, I was like, who? What are you talking about?
Exactly.
and I was saying it'd be nice if the Yankees knew how to hit some off-speed stuff or knew how to take a pitch. I mean, baffling. It was baffling, the Yankees' performance. And I came into this series thinking the Yankees had a huge advantage at pitching. And I figured, Bellinger, I think hurt his leg in the wild card series against the Red Sox, and I thought Judge would get more support, and he didn't get any support.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, the Jays outplayed them. It kind of reminded me a little bit of what the Royals used to be in the 70s. Just a bunch of hitters, slapping the ball around, get good pitching, and they used to get it done. It's old school baseball. It's what baseball should be, that kind of stuff. And when we saw that, we're going to do the relief pitching going in the game 4, I'm like, oh, Yankees are taking this. Schlittler's going to take this. Game 4 is going to be ours. We're going to go back to Toronto and we're going to take them. That was a talk at sports radio. That
we heard
was
it
in my mind. But the Yankees, they can't work a count. They can't work the pitcher. It's baffling. It's baffling to me. And the Jays look like one of those old school baseball teams. And, it's nice to see the team vibrant again. Because when I was living up there producing with Bob, and it was a couple of years after the strike, and that really hurt the Jays. And as far as attendance goes, so I'm happy to see that the city's roaring again with baseball.
Gentile, do you think it was a strategy and a move by this Jays management to keep Yesavage in the minor leagues until September so teams didn't get to see him? Or was it just a development thing? It was time for him to come, and when he came, man, he's made a mark so far.
So here's my theory. Number one, they put one over on everyone with the Shane Bieber trade. Mm-hmm. No one knew they were looking. They were scouting. They were getting ready. They kept that one under wraps. And I don't believe for a second when Yesavage got called up to Buffalo, to me, they knew exactly what was going on. I do not believe the idea of, well, let's just see how things go. Then they evaluated him and thought, well, maybe we'll bring him up and try. It was the end of the season, a critical time in the season to bring him up. You're not experimenting at that time. So I think they made that plan all along, because if they didn't have any intent in using him, they would have traded him at the deadline. Because all everyone was talking about was Arjun Amala, the shortstop, and Trey Yesavage. And the Jays, by not trading him, it's like they added someone because they just kept the guy. But I think they knew all along that he was going to be a part. And you had him in the minors for a bit, especially with his delivery and how weird that is. It's going to take teams a while to figure it out. Mm-hmm. The Yankees were like dumbfounded. They, and all their swing and misses were in the ground, right? They weren't swinging at anything high or at the belt. Everything was low. So I think teams will solve him at some point, be more patient. I think you got to force him to be perfect. They had no answer for him, but I think they knew all along. And think about this. The morning of the trade deadline, that morning, your game 2 and 3 starters had never even put a Blue Jays jersey on. Because they traded for Bieber that afternoon and they called up Yesavage a week later.
Okay, so let's stay on this praising of this management team because I've been a little critical over the last few years.
Oh, yeah?
I have, I admit it, but I've turned the corner, okay? I want to ask Gentile about, in September, this team had 6 starters at one point. They then went down to 3 for the playoffs and had to do a bullpen game. And I got to tell you, I was very nervous going into game 4 being a bullpen game. But boy, oh boy, oh boy, I now have more confidence in guys like Brian Little, who I did not want to see pitch ever again, during the season.
Fisher,
Dominguez, all the guys. It was just an unbelievable, and I want Damergis' opinion on this too. It was obviously a great strategy. They held the Yankees to 1 run, and boy, oh boy, Schneider really earned his pay in that game, the way he handled the bullpen, especially that one inning. I can't remember what inning it was later in the game, when they walked Judge, and it was just brilliant. It was just brilliant. Yeah. Gentile?
Yeah, you know what's great? It's the first time where it feels like the Jays manager is the one calling the shots.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
it's not a computer anymore.
Let's do a history lesson.
Yeah, we talked about Boone earlier.
Right.
The Yankees got outmanaged by the Jays, clearly, in this game.
Right. Jays versus Rays. You can't start Ryu in game 1. You got to go with Matt Shoemaker. Bulls up in their face.
Right.
The next series against Seattle, let's pull Gossman early in a game that they led 8-0. Let's switch Carlos Santana around, and he hits a home run. They lose to Seattle. The next year, they pull Barrios.
Oh, yeah.
And they start throwing everyone under the bus. This is the first time where it looks like, even though there is input from management, you don't see them or you don't feel that. It seemed like Schneider ran the team himself, which was interesting. I didn't think they were going to win a bullpen game, especially with those guys.
Yeah.
Schwarber's been outstanding. Okay.
Yeah. That kid's dynamite.
You could not have predicted it. And what's funny is the pitcher that went the furthest last night was Dominguez, and Lauer went 1 2/3. No one went even 2 innings. They managed 9 straight 9th innings. You know what I mean? Like every inning felt like it was and when Dominguez came in the 3rd, it was, like they had the 1-0 lead and they were already kind of trying to preserve everything. It just worked out perfectly. I'm shocked that it did. A bullpen game. They essentially gave up 1 run.
Same. That's what I'm saying.
Hoffman gave up 1 later. It's bizarre. I never thought that would work.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting baffled watching this. The Yankees go down 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out. 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out. I felt confident in Game 4 when it was 2-1 that they were going to pull this out. I did feel confident they were going to pull it out, but once Chisholm made the error, that was it. It's done.
Yeah, that was big.
Yeah,
it was huge.
That's a turning point.
I thought the momentum they had from coming back. You're down 6-1, you come back and you win the game. I thought that was a momentum changer. And a lot of times that does change a series. It's happened so many times through the years when the team has the chance to clinch and they don't. That's kind of it. Again, you got to give the Blue Jays credit for everything they did. They outcoached the Yankees. They outmanaged the Yankees. They have a better manager than the Yankees. They have players that put the ball in play. And they have Vlad. They have their superstar. And you guys did it without Biggio. I mean, come on now.
Do you mean Bichette?
Bichette, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, we understand. Yeah. Kevin Biggio's long gone, but yes, we did it without Bichette, who was trotting around on the field and whatever. We'll see. I highly doubt he plays in the
I don't know. Rumor is
maybe
ready.
Yeah, there's a rumor.
7-game series. He might be on the roster. You're right, Gentile.
You never know. Yeah, get him in there for 5 or 6. Yeah, you never know. There's the result of last night. Happy Blue Jays. They had to retake the picture because Ernie Clement was a little tardy getting in there, so they had to redo it. Yeah, it's crazy stuff. You know what's even wilder too about that Seattle debacle, Gentile? Was it not Manoah that was on the hill for that 8-0?
No, he was game 2. It was Gossman in game 1.
2. Yeah,
they were up,
even
and then
still though.
Well, and Bichette and Springer, they collided at center field. Remember?
Yes,
they were so sloppy. That's where this whole run prevention thing started.
Yeah.
Hey, can I mention one thing? Because we have Damergis here.
Please.
I'm not one of these people in Toronto that walks around hating the New York Yankees. I don't get it. I'll tell you why. 80s and 90s, right? Late 80s, early 90s, the Jays took over. The Yankees were not a factor. The Jays never had to deal with them. And then the Yankees went nuts in the mid 90s. And by the time they went on that run, you already had back-to-back with the Jays. It was very hard to dislike New York. You had Torrey and Jeter. It was a likable team, to be honest. And what's interesting is for people that don't remember, because everyone's like, why do they celebrate so much whenever they win a series or win a wild card? Why do they do that? You want to know why? There used to only be 4 teams that made the playoffs. So when you won the pennant, it was a big deal. You celebrated. Now it's gone overboard. I get
Clarkey hates it.
So, but you would face the Yankees, because if you won the division, they didn't. If they won the division, you did not. And so now I think it's a big victory for the playoff format, because now you get to play a team in the regular season 13 times. You get to face them. You got Vladdy hating playing in Yankee Stadium. This series is going to actually embolden this rivalry, which has never been there. But I've always respected them. If you're younger and you start watching baseball in the late 90s and you watch the Yankees beat everyone, I get it. But even those great Tory teams, they didn't outspend and destroy everyone. They developed so many good players. They were such a likable team. So I hate Baltimore because they're like our peers. I hate the Rays because they're also a cheap-ass team. I hated seeing them do well. I've never had hatred. So I think a lot of this Yankees hate in Toronto's a bit fake. It's a bit jealous. But now it's actually a little more legit, because what I saw in this series, the whining and the crying and the cheating, and the Jays are cheating at home, and
the cheating. Yeah.
Hey,
wow.
You know what? All we know is Buck Martinez was right.
Wow.
My boy. Well, let's face the facts.
I love Buck.
The Yankees. Yankees were Toronto's favorite team because it's Channel 11 before the Blue Jays came around. So you still have some Yankee fans there up in Ontario that's still love them. But there was a rivalry when Clemens was on the Jays. If you remember, Clemens hitting some stuff back in the 90s before the big trade with David Wells that we broke on the air, Clarkey, with Gord Ash, when we had Rod Beaton on. There was a rivalry back then, but yeah, there hasn't been a real rivalry per se to the extent that what we used to have with the Red Sox or in the.
But 70s. They've always been known as the big bad Yankees around here. Let's be serious.
Evil Empire. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean,
spending all money, and at the time the Jays, all of a sudden when they were spending all that $60 million or whatever when they had the team in 92, 93, they stopped spending when 96, 97, 98 came around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they did. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, maybe this stokes the fire in a little bit more of a legit way. Like Gentile said, first time they've ever faced each other in the playoffs, because as you pointed out, Gentile, that it was impossible for them to face each other in the playoffs. Right. So pretty interesting stuff. I want to show one last image here. I don't mean to be a guy that rubs this in on our friend Mike Damergis here, but this was floating around on the social medias last night, and I thought, boy, that's an artistic little take on what went down. I quite like that. I might leave it there for a minute. I'm genuinely curious from both of your perspectives, both the mics here. I'll start with you, Gentile. As we now sit here, and we're recording this on Thursday the 9th, which is an off day for a penultimate game 5 coming up here between Seattle and Detroit. Give those Detroit Tigers some credit. We're going to have to get Jim Cressman on here, the hitman, to talk about his Detroit Tigers getting their claws back out. What a job they did to force this game 5. I'm genuinely curious from both you guys, though, watching as much ball as you do. Who do you guys feel is a better matchup for the Blue Jays in the ALCS? Gentile, is it the Mariners, who are looking to go to the CS for the first time since 2001? Or is it the Detroit Tigers, who have also had quite a lengthy stay away from this stage of the playoffs? What do you think?
Okay, general rule, I don't love the whole, we'd rather face this team or that team. I was looking, they should be scared of us. Forget us being scared of them. And you got to beat whoever's in your way.
And
right?
And only that, the Yankees were better than both of those teams by record.
Right.
Agreed.
So that being said, Seattle looks a lot more dangerous. My first thing would be to avoid them. But here's the issue. They're all good teams. Jays, Tigers, Mariners. You could assume whoever it is, it may go 7 games, right? Would you rather face who Seattle has, or would you rather face Tarek Skubal? So as much as I wouldn't want to face Seattle, I don't. If it comes down to that game, I don't want him. That's someone you're afraid of. So maybe facing Detroit is worse if you end up in a scenario where it's a one game do or die. For as good as Gossman is or Bieber is, Tarek Skubal might be the best pitcher in baseball. He's right there.
Yeah, but also Schlittler was great against Boston too.
Yeah, but he's not.
I get it.
He didn't have dominant.
He's not Tarek Skubal.
No, yeah. I get it. But anyway, let me ask you this, Gentile. What's happening with Chris Bassett? Will we see him in the next round?
Okay, so here's what happened. Scherzer didn't make the roster because of the matchup. He would have been
against
on the
New York
against the Red Sox.
Yeah.
Scherzer's got an issue. He's tipping his pitches. He doesn't have a health issue. He has a lot of velocity. He's got to figure that out. Chris Bassett was close, but they couldn't stretch him out in time to ask him to pitch 5 or 6 innings. Otherwise, I think he would have been on that roster. They don't need Brule or Tommy Nance in their bullpen. So now the question is, I don't know if they're going to add both of those guys. You could. It's a great question. If you could only pick one, who would it be? Bassett had a good stretch down, like the stretch run. I think he was good. I think he was more consistent.
The problem is with Bassett, if I can interject here, is he's so much better at home, and you're not going to pitch him in game 1 or 2 or 6 or 7.
No. And then I'm curious, is there something there with Scherzer? You put him in a playoff game with his experience and everything else, like maybe that's something to consider. But
because I don't think you can do a bullpen game when you got 3 games in a row. Games 3, 4, and 5, there's no off days. You can't do a bullpen game.
Yeah, Bassett would have otherwise been in, and they had the day off today. So
that's what I mean.
Otherwise,
exactly.
You couldn't even have done it.
But next series, you don't have that luxury.
No, like a bullpen game can only be like an emergency.
Yeah. Sorry, we're talking about the next round here. Sorry. Just give us a minute.
My God.
I got nothing to watch for another 6 months. I don't have a football team in New York anymore with the Jets.
Where's your Jays hat? Why do you got a Brooklyn Dodgers hat on?
Oh my!
You got to have a Jays hat on somewhere.
No, leave them alone, Clarkey.
I had a Jays hat years ago, and the Jays had open practice for the media. Remember that, Clarkey? Mike, were you there too as well when they had open practice?
I think so.
Sky Dome. I did have a Jays hat at one time.
At one time, he left it in the lawn. I agree with what you say there, Gentile. Like, I think it's kind of a coin flip because you look at it from 2 different sides there. Detroit's one ace up their sleeve is Skubal. The rest of their starting pitching, I'm not scared of Casey Mize. I'm not scared of Jack Flaherty. I'm not scared of guys like that. And their hitting lineup's just not as good when you compare the Mariners, right? Like, and then the Mariners on the other side have some good pitchers, like let's not sneeze at Logan Gilbert and guys like that. But their hitting lineup's a lot better. So, but the way this Jays team is playing right now and the way that Damergis kind of broke down how they beat his Yankees, like, I don't know that I feel necessarily, as you said, Gentile, I'm not really scared to play either of these teams right now, whether Bassett pitches or not, which I think he will simply because of health and the fact that he throws so many different kinds of pitches. I think that they could put him in on the road, Clarkey, and not be.
Oh, I do too, and I think they will.
I think they will. It'll be interesting to see how it shakes out going forward. Then, Gentile, I'm curious to ask you, what would you do in terms of the starters, whether it's Detroit or Seattle? What would you do? How would you line this up? We know the first 2.
Well, what order? Do you do the same?
Oh yeah, Gossman and Yesavage and Bieber 1, 2, and 3. And you got to figure out if it's, Scherzer or Bassett as your 4th. I mean, it's pretty simple. I think what they got to figure out, though, is there's a thought out there that George Springer, now that he has done so well as DH, doesn't really want to play the field. I don't think he wanted to play it in Yankee Stadium very, very specifically. And that messes things up because if Bo Bichette comes back, it'd be great if Springer could play the field and Bo could DH, because what you want is Bo's bat, not so much his defense. And Jimenez and whoever they have there now are doing a way better job. It's going to really mess things up. If go ahead.
I'm just. What do you mean he doesn't want to play the? Like, what do you mean? Like he doesn't.
He's just more comfortable DHing.
Well, I guess he's not that bad. He's better than Santander in right field, if you ask me.
Yeah.
He's had the season of his life.
Yeah.
Complete resurgence. They're not even in the playoffs without George Springer.
He's an outfielder. How many balls are hit to you in the outfield in a game? 5.
So it depends.
I think he would do it though.
The Yankees, none, because they can't hit the ball.
yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like Santander had one hit to him and
though.
he broke the wrong way. Anyway.
Yeah.
Like if he plays the field, it's easy. Santander's out of the lineup.
Yeah.
Put in Bo Bichette, you're done.
And Santander comes off as a pinch hitter when you need a bomb.
Exactly.
If Springer stays at DH, right, then you're stuck putting Santander, a weak right fielder, in there. Or you got to put Lucas in there, right? Yeah. And then if Bo goes to short, then you got to take Clement or Barger out of your lineup. Like it's a real sticky spot. So it's kind of a good problem to have, but I think
I feel sorry for you guys talking baseball in mid-October here.
We have so many too many good players. What are they going to do?
Isn't that something?
When's the hockey season start up there?
And Ryan, I have to tell you,
the hockey season has started. Yeah,
Ryan,
we'll touch on hockey. Go ahead.
My streak is over. By the way,
your streak is over. Which one?
Guess who was at the ballpark for Game 2?
You were there.
I was there.
When was the last
streak is over? No, two things. I said I would not support this management group until they made the playoffs. So that's one. And two, my record going to games, especially in playoffs, has not exactly been great.
It's not been good for you, brother.
Or Blue Jays.
It's not been good.
Leafs lose 6-1 to Florida. I saw the Jays get blown out back. I don't even know when, 2015 or whenever it was. So, boy, what a game to go to. And I wanted to just go back to Yesavage one more time. Sorry, Gentile. Or Damergis. Mike, did you sorry, too many mics. Gentile.
Too many mics.
Did they pull him too early? In hindsight, we know they won the series. But do you pull a guy with a no-hitter in Game 2?
No, it worked out. I mean, 5 innings, no hit. But he didn't want to give them any more looks. Like you run a risk once you get 3 looks each. You know that whole rule in baseball these days. You already asked a lot of the guy to even start the game at all.
Yeah,
you're 5 through. You
had a no hitter,
and you're up big. I had no problem with that. I had a bigger problem with them pulling Bieber in Game 3, knowing you had a bullpen game in the next game.
Yeah.
Like let him figure it out.
Yeah.
Let him.
Again, it all worked out. But my thinking was, why give the Yankees a chance to see the bullpen when Yesavage is doing so well? And then they have to pull Bieber early. Now giving the Yankees another chance to see the bullpen, and they hit them around in that game. But then the bullpen game came and the bats went silent in New York.
I think every manager in baseball nowadays would have pulled him there. Maybe would have Kevin Cat. I think they would have. Clarkey. We're talking about modern baseball. This isn't 1984.
Okay, let me ask this. Let me ask this question. Damergis, how happy were you that they pulled him at that point?
Oh, ecstatic.
Or did it matter?
No, I was ecstatic.
Yeah, of course, because they weren't hitting them.
I mean, I was sick to my stomach, and I'll be honest with you. Game 2, it was such a nice day in New York. I had watched the Jets and Giants, and I had enough.
Did you think Clarkey told me about this guy? Clarkey said about this Yesavage guy.
I was like, how do you say the name? What was his name? I went to the beach. I had a beer at the beach.
God bless you, brother. That's great.
I had enough of sports. This was not going the way I planned. I thought it was going to be a beautiful day. I got the Jets. I got the Giants. I got the Yankees. I had wings. It was a beautiful setup. I said, what the hell happened to the day? It was like doomsday. And
the indigestion set in.
Yeah, and the funny thing, I remember back in the 90s, the Yankees used to love playing at the Sky Dome because they loved the dark background. And the players used to talk about how they could see the ball because of the black in the background and everything. And what the Yankees did this year, it's like they never played the Sky Dome before. They couldn't win up there.
Do you think Judge's antics were just show, or do you think he was really picking off the pitches?
What do you mean?
Like when he was at second base, he would like wave his hand or whatever. I think it was all for show. myself.
I haven't heard much about it really since they're definitely still trying to steal some pitches, the old school way a little bit, but
I think it happened in the game last night too, Detroit and Seattle.
Yeah. I haven't heard much about it. I mean, to me, for here in New York, the story is, Judge finally had his moment.
Mm-hmm.
In baseball, the best player doesn't always make the World Series. I mean, how many rings does Ted Williams have? How many rings does Hank Aaron have?
Bonds.
Barry Bonds. How many does he have? How many?
Zero.
Did Rod Carew have? They're one of the best in baseball. So
absolutely,
it's tough. It's tough to win, even if you have the best player. All I can say this: watching Judge for 10 years, he's the best player I've ever seen.
No doubt.
Since 1975.
He's a freak.
He probably gives the Yankees 10 more wins a year by just him being in the lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Well, look what happened when he got hurt.
Yeah.
They went from being a first place team to almost a non-playoff team.
They almost didn't make the playoffs that year.
You know how they always say in basketball, if you just get one guy, it changes everything. And you think it's the same way in football, and you could do it in, maybe in hockey if you have a great goalie, but not in baseball.
No.
But he proved it works in baseball that way. Yeah. One guy can make a difference.
Sure,
when you're that guy,
has those MVPs in Texas, and they were last place. So
he's the Connor McDavid of baseball. It's exactly what's happening there.
He is.
Right?
Yeah, that's the thing with baseball. It's so much more rare that you add a star player, and it can be a big star. Baseball, for it to be that one guy, it has to be that one guy. Like one guy in the league usually. I mean, Ohtani aside, I mean, we're lucky now we're watching two guys, but I mean, it's a lot more difficult. I quickly, before we move on, because we will be talking about some hockey. Damergis, you pointed it out. Hockey has started.
You guys good for time here?
Yeah, I'm good for time, but I can't add anything to a hockey.
No, I know.
Well, before we pop into that,
Kilrea?
Sorry, Coach Kilrea.
Coach Kilrea?
Coach
Kilrea. I'm sorry. It's pick on Damergis. I'm sorry, buddy.
Yeah, hey, my cousin won a Memorial Cup for Brian Kilrea. All right.
Oh my God!
How about that?
So bad after that, Coach Kilrea.
What do you do? I want to throw another image up here, and I specifically like Damerge. I wouldn't fault you for not really watching much of the post-game celebrations, but maybe you saw some of it. I don't know, but I'll tell you this, Mr.
I heard about Vladdy singing the
Yankees lose. That was
kind of
spectacular.
A little bit.
There was a few jabs. There was that jab. There was the There was that jab. There was
the Yankees lose.
The Schneider jab started spreading the news, and then they played that in the dressing room as they were celebrating,
New York,
champagne.
You know what? The Yankees should take heed of that. The other team came in, celebrated on their field. They're mocking them. You know, use it for next year.
Sure, go ahead.
You gotta.
Don't let it pass. Oh, they were the better team. No, get pissed off.
Yeah, for sure.
Make yourself better.
Yeah, we'd be saying the same thing. I agree.
100%.
Oh, for sure.
Speaking of being pissed off, and Gentile, and I know Clarkey will have a thought on this too. Was there a memorandum that went out via email at the Sportsnet offices after last night when about 30 loud F-bombs made it over live television? My grandmother commented on it and was like, "What's this I heard with all the swearing with the Blue Jays?" And I said, "Grandma, look, it's just what happens." Even that said, and I wasn't offended by the language or anything, even that said, I don't know that I've ever heard that many get over the airwaves. And poor Hazel, she's in there soaking in beer trying to tell them, "We're live, guys." And no one seemed to care.
Well, Gosman didn't. He said he didn't care.
Gosman didn't care. I mean, there's F-bombs, but we got multiple MF bombs. That I've never heard.
From that man right
I've
there.
Never heard that in a post game before. And Hazel, it's true. She got, "Hey, you're live," almost like a warning. "Hello, you're live." That was wild. There were several phone calls and emails. So yeah, like a few people weren't happy about it, but I think most of it, honestly, it was a bird's eye view of what it's like in a clubhouse. You got to be a part of it.
So if the Jays win the ALCS, does Sportsnet go into a 7-second delay before they go into the?
They might need
dressing
to.
room?
They have to.
That's an interesting question.
I wonder.
Well,
I mean, we had it in radio. I don't know if they have it in TV where we push the button, right? But
there's a button.
Yeah, you hear it during NFL games with touchdown celebrations. You hear the fans cheering all the time. You hear a mute, and then you might catch you after like a like that or ing, some kind of thing.
Right. Well,
I'll say it's so rare. It's so rare. Like if it's an ongoing thing, I get it. This happens so rarely. I think it's very hard for people to get too worked up about it.
Yeah, I
mean, but there'll be someone will complain to the CRTC, and Sportsnet will get a letter. Sportsnet will have to do an apology. I'm telling you, it'll happen. It might not happen for another year. When you see on the screen one day during a broadcast on October the 8th, the Yankees, it'll happen. But
more ings and effing in the New York subway last night, leaving the stadium.
Yes, I'm sure.
Like Aaron Boone was getting the the effing. He's got a middle name too from the Yankee fans, not just from the Red Sox fans. So I'm not enamored with Boone. And you took a guy that's hated. There will not be a Brian Cashman Appreciation Day when he retires. So that will be a Brian Cashman bobblehead day.
Yeah. Someone also suggested that Aaron Boone isn't making the calls in the dugout. Those calls are coming.
You know what? I was about to bring it up. It was Derek
Jeter said that.
Oh yeah, Jeter said that. Yeah, right. Yep. What do you think about that, Damergis?
Jeter said that. Susan Waldman was on today, and she's been with this team for forever. And she said, no, Aaron Boone in game is making the calls, but a team of coaches and advisors meet ahead of time to make sure everybody's in sync with Aaron Boone. But Aaron Boone is making the calls.
But Jeter definitely insinuated that
Jeter
he did
Cashman. So what?
And he said
he has no inner knowledge. Though he did also say that he has no knowledge.
Well, okay,
he did point that out. He said
one of the best players in Yankee history doesn't have inner knowledge. Sure. Sure. Okay.
Let me ask you this. Question. We had this conversation the other day with some people. If you had a guy at second base, you're down 2 runs, guys runners at second and third, 2 outs. Would you rather have Jeter up there, A-Rod, or Judge?
Well, I'd have to say Jeter, only because of how many clutch moments he's had. Like you just said it, and that might sound insane right now because of what we know Judge is, but Judge just had his moment where he came through in game 3 with that big hit. Jeter's got like 15. Mm-hmm. He's missed. He's Captain October. He is. Absolutely. I want Jeter. I don't need a 470-foot tank with a guy on second and third. I just need one of those clutch Jeter bloopers up the gap.
Yeah.
And I got 2 guys in.
I totally agree with that. I mean, A-Rod was a better shortstop numbers-wise. Nomar was a better shortstop numbers-wise. Cal, going back before that, had better numbers. But if I need a hit, if I need a play to be made in the field, there's no one I want more than Jeter. Jeter reminds me of what Thurman Munson used to do. If you needed a guy to get a base hit, need a play, guy thrown out, or whatever, needed a home run, Thurman Munson was the guy. Jeter and Munson are very similar in that sense.
Okay, before we let you go, I got to ask Gentile, same question on the Jays side. Of all the history of the Jays, who would you want up?
Comparing who? In terms of which Blue Jay you'd want up?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want
most
Vladdy?
clutch
Do you
guy?
want
Like
Carter?
Anybody. Paul Molitor.
Oh, like any Blue Jay.
Any Blue Jay.
Blue
Robbie
Jay.
Alomar. Wow.
It's Robbie Alomar.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
You know why? Because he didn't
know he's been erased from the Jays history.
Wow. Has he been?
Well, he's been
Robbie got himself into quite a bit of
trouble with the organization. They've taken him off the center
Google
level of excellence and everything else. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Google
Robbie
it.
got him.
We talked about Judge being the best player I've seen. I mean, the best player, second baseman, in the last 50 years is probably Robbie Alomar.
Mm-hmm.
No question.
Even ahead of Joe Morgan. I'd have to think even Jeff Kent. I think Robbie.
I was saying Kent's right there.
Kent's right there.
Former day.
But I think Alomar was the best. I mean, back in his day, a second baseman. I mean, he could hit off anybody.
He was. He probably was. Gentlemen, we really appreciate this, particularly from you, Mr. Damergis. You came on here in good grace and accepted this loss with a lot of humility. We love the Brooklyn Dodgers love on the hat. We understand it. We really appreciate this, buddy. Thanks so much for doing this, eh?
My pleasure anytime, and good luck moving forward here, and it'd be great for the city.
Absolutely. It certainly will be. Our friend Mike Damergis, thank you so much for coming on here. And Mr. Gentile, thank you so much for jumping on here with us as well, brother.
Oh, it was a blast. You kidding? This is like the best time of year.
We're on Rogers TV now, Gentile. We got to tell
there you go. We're all in the family. Hey, it's Toronto beats both hated rivals by the same score in the same night.
Exactly.
How about
that? You were 1-1 and I was 2-0.
Yeah, you were 2-0. I was 1-1. But
how about that?
That's okay.
Absolutely. Gentile, thanks so much for doing this, buddy.
Oh, you guys are the best. And anytime we'll do it at the end of the next series.
Okay.
Absolutely.
We'll hold you to
100%.
It.
When they win.
You're in the schedule, brother. We're going all the way. We want it all. All right. Our friend Mike Gentile from Sportsnet, the Fan590. You can follow him there, and he's on the air quite often. He's usually on the air on Saturdays, producing over there, and nice little, almost like a family reunion for you there, Clarkey. I mean,
it was.
You guys, you know, primetime sports. How about that? Speaking of prime time, I mean, you know, everybody was kind of locked in on the Jays. Sorry, I almost kind of started to sound like Buck there for just a second there. Speaking of prime time, what got buried, and how often can you say this in Leaf country? What kind of got buried by the profanity-laced celebrations of the Toronto Blue Jays was the start of the Maple Leaf season. And
yes, sir.
As Mr. Gentile pointed out, they didn't do what they did last year when I lit them on fire, Clarkey. They showed up for game one in relaxed gear.
Didn't they get shut out last year?
They got shut out 1-0 by Samuel Montembeault. Not the case this year. A 5-2 tidy victory for your Toronto Maple Leafs. And another guy got up to some stuff last night too, and I know you want to start with this. Mitchell Marner with 2 points in his Vegas debut, including a gorgeous feed on a 1-tee to the newly signed $13.5 million man, Jack Eichel. Yeah. I know you were locked in on that.
My only question is, how did he do in the shootout? I would rank his shootout at about a 9.3. I think he had a triple Lutz, a double axle, and a quad in that shootout attempt, but he didn't score.
Yeah, that's all right. He'll score next time.
Was good. It was really good.
Next time,
the edging was great.
Good shooter. Yeah, really good edging. Yeah,
we know he's a good player, man. He's a good player.
I'm just saying that I know that you wanted to touch on Mitch Marner.
We didn't talk about that, and no, I don't.
And so I put it up there for you.
I saw you put it up there, and that's fine. I was right.
Yeah, you texted me and said we got to talk about Mitch.
I don't remember.
And so I said,
I think someone texted.
He said, "Look, it's really important that we cover what Mitch got up to last night. 2 points, pretty good. How about that?
Good.
What about this guy?
How about Austin?
Morgan Riley's good. Austin Matthews, gets himself an empty netter. They need this guy to have a giant seat, and I'm counting on him to do that too. See what the guy, because there's the relaxed dress code now. Like him and Willie walked in to the rink last. I don't know what Willie was doing. He just loves the tank tops. Willie, and he's a content creator now. Are you following him on YouTube?
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting. I thought this will be kind of crappy. Like nobody, it's pretty good. Like
his sister's taking it too, right? Like I think his sister might be driving.
I believe. I think if not one, maybe both of his sisters are involved in the. I don't know, but yeah, she's certainly the one is definitely helping him with it. It's actually kind of interesting. If you're a Leaf fan, I'd recommend checking it out. It's actually.
I gotta tell you, I was definitely in Jay's mode last night. I had the split screen going.
I had it going.
I was going back and forth, but I gotta tell you, when they went into the third period and the Jays game was getting interesting, 2-1, I was all Jays all the time. By the time I flipped back to the Leafs, it was 3-2, I guess it was Leafs, and then I saw the empty netters. But Good start. 2 points is 2 points. I heard Coach Berube after the game in the dressing room saying it wasn't the cleanest of game, boys. But win's a win. They got to clean up some puck play, and we'll go from there. But I liked Waugh. I thought the little bit I saw of Nicholas Waugh, I liked the look of him.
Nicola Waugh, he was good. Yeah, he got pasted in the first period, got right back up and got involved. I thought he was really good. Won some face-offs.
Stoley looked good, solid. I really think Morgan Riley
was good.
I want to say that I think there was some issues in the dressing room with a certain player who now plays in Vegas, and I think it's a little better now.
Yeah.
And I think
you never know.
The outside noise is gone too, because there was a lot of outside noise from what I've heard when it comes to certain people around the team back last year who aren't here this year. That's not going to mean they're going to win the Stanley Cup, but I think guys like Morgan Riley and Austin,
you never know,
and Tavares and the guys like that. I think it's going to be a good year, and I don't think they're going to miss him as much as some people think they may. That's all I want to say.
Well, I mean, that's the hope for you, right? And I mean, we'll definitely see. Yeah. And I mean, we've asked this recently too. I'm genuinely curious what the fans think if Marner or Matthews will end up with more points this year. I want to throw this one at you here. I mean, he gets one last night into the empty net. You take that, like, good start to the season, considering the injury riddled year and the German trips that he had last year. Yeah, you're going to hammer the over on that?
You know what?
I kind of feel the same way. And the reason I think he's going to do it, Clarkey, is because so many people, the only really noise left from the aforementioned buddy of yours, Mitch Marner, is how will him leaving in the regular season affect Matthews' goal total? Can he drive his own line? What's his health like? I think that if Matthews is smart, which he is, and is a competitor, which I do believe he is, I think that he should be more motivated than ever to shove it in everyone's face and score 57 or something and say, no, I'm the guy that drives the bus. And he better be. And
100% he better be.
And hopefully he does it in the playoffs too. I'll take the over on that too. I say he gets 57. 57 sounds good.
I agree with you. I don't watch a lot of preseason. I think he only played in 2 games anyway. And
preseason's garbage. They should get rid of it.
I agree.
I agree. Sucks.
But I've just heard what Coach Berube had to say, and he said he feels this guy has found another gear in the offseason. And he needs it. And he's going because apparently I'm not going to get my wish.
What's your wish?
You know darn well what my wish was next year.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about a guy named McJesus, and he will not be blessing the waters of Toronto anytime soon.
I genuinely thought he was coming.
I know you
really did.
Well, in 3 years, we'll see.
Yeah, I was thinking
right.
Next year was the year. The Leafs had 17 mil they could spend, and boom. But anyway.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's worked out so well for John Tavares, right? So, I genuinely want you to, it's a valid point, sir. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I didn't do it. These guys are the ones that keep coming up short. On that note, though, because McDavid has come up inches short of lifting the darn thing, and he shocked everybody, not by staying in Edmonton.
No.
And not even necessarily with the 2-year term. That was rumored for a while, 2 to 3, and he would reassess. It's the dollars.
For sure.
Does not take a cent raise on his current $12.5 million deal. This has been a huge talking point. Right? Brian Hayes has been losing his mind. Our buddy Steve Dangle, who we're going to get on at some point. Steve, I don't know if you saw on social media, had a pretty exciting find in his card collection recently. We'll talk about that with him. I'm curious what you think of this, having watched what you've watched over the last decade in Toronto.
Dude, can you imagine? If Mitch Marner had to come and say, you know what, I haven't performed in the playoffs. Give me 9.5
on the original deal.
Let's go out and get, or even now, let's go out and get some more players for next year. Let's load up. Let's take a team-friendly deal. I know you don't think Tavares should be here right now, but he took a team-friendly deal. Stolarz took a team-friendly deal for sure.
Took one now. Stolarz did. Yep.
Stolarz did.
Tavares didn't take a team-friendly deal when he signed.
No, I get
originally.
That. It was different then. But Mitch, it just shows you who the team guy is here. It does. I'm sorry, but it does. And
the team guy meaning McDavid, you mean?
Yes, 100%. Yeah. McDavid is your true team guy who wants to win and is willing to sacrifice dollars. And I loved how he said it. You know what? I think my family will be okay on $12.5 million a year.
He did.
I think they'll be okay. And I wish other stars would do the same, and we would be a little bit more in line with reality with some of these salaries, because they're getting out of hand. Kaprizov signing for 17. Come on.
Yeah, so I look at this and I kind of like I look at throughout the years of this cap era, different things, and Sid certainly did this, like
Absolutely.
For a good chunk of time. Well, for a good chunk of time, if you recall, and this included the back-to-backers in the 2010s, Gino was making more than Sid. Gino was making 9.8 or 9.9.
Yeah.
Sid 8.7. As much as people might scoff at this, Ovi could have got way more money than what he was on when he signed that monster ticket, which was a record at the time. It's not anymore. He could have taken far more than 9.5 that he made throughout a majority of his career. 9.5 for the greatest goal scorer of all time. Pretty good.
Hopefully he can live on that. Yeah.
I think he'll be okay.
Yeah.
I saw it and went, wow. And like, look, I agree with guys like Ray Ferraro and O-Dog and different people that have chimed in on this. I think that hockey stars are underpaid compared to their other sports compatriots. Obviously, I understand that. It's a different landscape. Do I think that some of these guys could and should make more? Yeah. But it's hard when something like this happens not to go, well, geez, the best guy's doing it. This would be different if it was somebody else.
For sure.
But the fact that it's him.
It's the best player in the world.
You can't help. And it's going to be hard for guys that get more than that or take more and don't perform or bring championships or playoff wins, for fans not to turn around and go, okay, but that guy over there is better than you, and that's going to happen. Like the discourse,
it should happen, guys. Ryan. It should happen. And you know who people who the most angry at all this is? The agents.
Oh, the agents and the PA are furious.
I'm sure
they
are.
Them.
Exactly. They're the ones that have ruined it anyway. Steve
McAllister
will hate me to say it, but they have. The agents are the ones who insist on holding out and the most money. And no, I'm not going to take 12.5. I want 12.6, or I'm not signing. Like, come on.
To their credit, they're not my favorite part of sports. Obviously, they're paid to do that. That's their job.
Absolutely, that is their job. I get it, but I can guarantee you, I don't know who represents Connor McDavid. But whoever it is, Connor just said,
Jeff Jackson still does he not?
No. Jeff Jackson is now the president of the Oilers.
Yeah, he's not allowed to. Well, maybe Connor represents himself. I don't know.
He may. But all I'm saying is he put his agent into place. This is what I'm signing for. Let's get it done.
Well, and I mean, quickly, because we're running out of time here. We've had a great show.
We have.
The PA, it's hard for me to feel any sympathy toward the PA. They don't even like protecting their own players. So
I know.
It's
always
people go, I can't believe a guy only got 4 games. It's my favorite rant in hockey. People always
here we go.
The players voted for that. So it's hard for me to feel bad for them from that perspective. Oh, he only took, that means I can only get 10.
Don't protect the victim.
Anyway, this has been a great show. Remember, everybody, you can watch the show Friday nights at 6 right before Owen Sound Attack Hockey in the Georgian Bay region. You can watch us in the London region as well. Saturday nights at 10, Mondays at 1 p.m. You can find the show on YouTube. We're up there. You can watch us whenever you like at your leisure. How about that? And we're on all your favorite podcast apps as well. Spotify, Apple, we're on there. You can find us. Follow us on social media at InstigatingPod. We really appreciate you guys watching, listening, staying tuned in here. to instigating. Thank you to Mike Gentile. Thank you to Mike Damergis. We will be back next week with more instigating. Go Blue Jays.